Well, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana Weather. Wanted to bring you a quick forecast update here. There is a slight risk of severe thunderstorms for Wednesday. Now, of course, this is Tuesday morning here as I'm recording this video, but nothing to worry about for us today. In fact, we'll have pretty much a lull in the action as far as rain today goes. But tomorrow it's going to get very warm. We're going to push up into the upper 60s across the area. Some of us, once again, may flirt with 70 degrees, and we'll have some thunderstorm activity that occurs with that 70-degree weather this time, whereas we didn't last time. Of course, whenever we get that in December, we always worry about severe weather. That's exactly what the Storm Prediction Center is worried about as well. Slight risk of severe weather covers all of southern Indiana here for us tomorrow. The enhanced risk is to the south. Now, if we look at their probabilities, basically that's a 15% chance of severe weather, but you see the greater probabilities certainly down here in the south, and that's where I think the strongest of the severe weather would occur. In fact, I'm not even sure how far north this slight risk really needs to go. I think that may be adjusted more tomorrow, but it's not a huge risk, but the risk is certainly there nonetheless. Let me take you through it. One of the things that we have usually lacking this time of the year is sufficient instability to be able to do anything. Not tomorrow. HiRes NAM predicting a insane amount of instability for December anyway. 1,500, 1,800 units of over portions of the area. Well, that's pretty high. Now, let me say this. That's not high for summer, but that's very high for winter. And the reality is, though, the HiRes NAM sometimes goes CAPE crazy. Convective available potential energy. That's what this CAPE stands for. It's measured in joules per kilogram. Just a measure of instability in the atmosphere. It tells us how much energy those storms have to tap into to grow stronger and become severe. It's saying there's plenty around the area. Now, the GFS, though, is much more modest with that. In fact, let me just show you what the GFS is saying for CAPE. Here for our instability values, and what you can see here is it's much more modest, on the order of 5, 600, 750 units and less around the area. So that's more believable to me this time of the year. But the reality is either one of those, is more than sufficient this time of the year to get severe weather. Of course, there's three things you need. You remember you need some sort of instability, and you need some wind energy, and you need some sort of a forcing mechanism, a lifting mechanism that fires the storms off. Well, according to the HiRes NAM, here's what the low-level jet looks like. And you got maybe 40 to 50, even some spikes of close to 60 knot winds. So that's more than sufficient wind energy for us. We can see that same thing if we were to take a look here at the GFS model as well. Let's just look at what our low-level jet would be through here as well. And what you'll see is, yes, we indeed do have plenty of wind energy, except that that's temperatures, and I need to get the right one selected here, and then we'll have that for you. You'll be able to see that. There we go. But you can see, yeah, even here it actually is a little bit stronger on the winds. It's less on CAPE, stronger on the winds. It's a trade-off. The reality is I think there will be plenty enough instability the way things look in the modeling. I think there will be plenty enough wind energy to fire off what could be some potentially severe storms. But here is the problem, and that is the forcing mechanism. The lifting mechanism is just not really that great. Let me show you why. Let's go ahead and look at the GFS predicted surface map. For tomorrow afternoon, you notice the low is well off to our northwest up here in Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota area. There's the cold front trailing behind it, warm front well off to our north. That might trigger off a few storms, but there's just nothing really great going on. In fact, forcing, not overly impressive either. If we just take a look at what the vorticity is here, you can see there is a little bit of vorticity. This would be a measure of spin in the atmosphere, enough forcing to cause things to storm. There's a little bit, but it's not overly impressive. So the bottom line is, I think the severe weather ingredients are pretty good for instability from the modeling right now. They're really good when it comes to wind energy, and they're marginally good when it comes to forcing. That said, I do think some storms will fire. It's a question of how severe will they go. Let me time this out for you on future radar. Here we go. As we go through this morning, we stay pretty much high and dry, and as I continue on here, Tuesday looks like a pretty good day. In fact, the next wave really doesn't arrive until overnight tonight, and then that moves through, starts to come out. If we can get some breaks in the sunshine, that instability will definitely verify and spike reasonably high. That'll give us a better chance. But as we go through Wednesday, we get some periods of showers and thunderstorms. It'll be the afternoon and evening that we've got to worry about for anything. And what I want you to notice is by the time dark is striking, we don't have anything organizing into a single line. It's just a couple of storm cells here and there popping up that roll through. So it's not really an organized severe weather threat. It's not one big squall line that looks like it's going to come through, folks. It's more of maybe just a thunderstorm popping up here and there. So I do think we'll get rain tomorrow. The question is, how severe will any storms get? I'm not expecting tornadic weather for us. I think most of the tornadic weather would be confined down to the south. I don't think the parameters are there overly impressive just for us. I think if anything, it would be more of a straight line damaging wind kind of threat for us, and I don't think it's going to be widespread. I think that what we'll see out of this is we might see some thunderstorms that can go marginally severe for a little while, probably not sustain themselves for an overly long period of time. And you might end up with a couple of warnings out of it, but I don't expect this to be a widespread severe weather threat from the way things look right now. But it's the strongest severe weather threat we've had in months around here. Let's put it that way. Everything is lining up for it. It just doesn't look like a big outbreak of anything. So, bottom line, just have a plan ready. If, I can't rule out a tornado warning, but I'm certainly, I would say the chances of us seeing any tornadoes are very low. That looks more towards the south from the way my thinking is at this point. Again, this looks more like a damaging wind, straight line wind kind of event thing, and I think that will be more of an isolated fashion. Don't see this being widespread severe weather, but do be prepared, folks. I think there could be a few storms that could go severe. So that's the way everything stands right now, folks. Just keep it tuned here to Southern Indiana Weather for more. Again, slight risk of severe weather for tomorrow. Really, tomorrow afternoon and evening is when we'll have to worry about anything severe. I'll have another one of these updates for you tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite. Have a great day.